Yeah, stepfather of sorts, I guess. She thought of me as a dad, thinks of me as a dad. Her mom requested that I take her to school in the morning.
Okay, that was Stephan Stearns. Yes, he was calling himself, a stepfather of sorts, I guess. He was calling himself Madeline Soto's stepfather. He said, Madeline thought of me as a dad. Oops. Thinks of me as a dad. He really slipped up. So we have some newly released, less redacted, differently redacted audio that I've been going through with a fine-tooth comb. So Stephan slipped up. He talks about being Madeline's stepfather of sorts. We heard that. He's talking about her thinking of him as a dad. She thought of me as a dad. So he slipped into past tense.
Yeah, stepfather of sorts, I guess. She thought of me as a dad, thinks of me as a dad.
And he quickly corrected himself. He knows Madeline's already gone. These officers down there in Florida are hip to him. They're like, whoa, you're suspicious. It's getting late in these interviews and he can't keep his stories straight.
It's usually with her mom right there too. We're just chatting.
Maddie has been missing at that point since Monday morning, Monday, February 26, 2024. In essence now, basically it's late Tuesday night, even though technically it's going into the early morning hours of Wednesday morning, the day Stearns would be arrested on February 28th, 2024. These two detectives are onto him.
Her mom requested that I take her to school in the morning so she could sleep in as much as possible.
Okay.
I agreed.
And thank the Lord yesterday afternoon for reminding me. He kept putting this in my spirit. Go over these audio. Don't just assume what you got from the state attorney's office is the same thing you got before from police entities. It might look the same, but technically it's not when you really delve deep into it. So God was telling me, lay these audios down. These audio tracks down, one above the other on iMovie, and compare the sound waves. That's how you can see the difference. So I've been grabbing different audio interviews they gave us, laying them down and seeing what's different. And indeed, there are more things coming out we didn't know before because they were previously redacted. First of all, let me explain to you what this recent dump of info is that several of us received from the state's attorney's office. So in the homicide case, we got two big PDF files. I still need to examine those and check for any differences. In the CSAM case, we got two folders full of all those photos we talked about before in the last video. If you haven't seen when I went over those, just check my most previous video. There were a lot, 711 photos, and some of them I did not put up anywhere, you can tell. And the docket on YouTube and we were discussing, oh, this is what, we paid for previously. Some of it was really redacted. He paid for 50 photos. Most all of them were redacted. Now we see why. Because it was Madeline's underwear, and I didn't feel right publishing those anywhere, and I don't know why the state's attorney's office chose not to redact them while other police entities did. That's neither here nor there. We also got one PDF file in the CSAM case. I still need to go through it. One video file of Stearns. Now it's the same video, the only video, that super long video where at the end they strip search him. Now before, the one thing the cops did kind of incorrectly, that box they were like moving around, like trying to cover him, and it didn't completely cover him. Stearns was in the raw in that video. That's what the police did. With the district attorney's office, I noticed they were a little bit better about blurring his situation down there. I presume everything is the same in that video. I still need to go through and compare that one. That one is hours and hours long. That one is hours and hours long. And we also received 7 audio files. And some of them are crazy names and named incorrectly. And they're like, Stephan, they spell it with an F. Anyway, just trying to match them up by time to figure out, okay, which one did we get from police? Which one are we getting from the state's attorney's office? The old audio we got from authorities, I previously laid it on the top row in my video editing software. The new audio files we received from the state attorney in Florida is on the second row. Now you can see where they differ. I'll just point out, like if you can see the sound waves and you see the point where we have sound waves where previously the sound was missing in that portion, I knew, okay, that's a difference. We can now hear what they were saying.
But mom's always present.
When you guys are FaceTiming. Okay.
Sometimes we're using her mom's phone to FaceTime with hers.
Different agencies redact different things, so now we're hearing new stuff. So it is newly released stuff. People who haven't gone over it with a fine-tooth comb might assume it's all the same thing, but we are getting new info. But Stephan calling himself a stepfather of sorts, or, you know, she thought of me as a dad, it's infuriating. And he's like, he's being so obvious while he's trying to be so smart.
Let me just verify with your wife her pills.
And so the main differences I noticed, I went through all of them today. I was just running all around at the doctor's office, everywhere. The main differences that occur, you can hear now, is when they mention Jennifer's name. Previously, they took it out quite a bit, or they even call her Stephan's wife quite a bit throughout these audios you'll hear.
Your wife has my phone number. If you can to your wife that we're gonna have the apartment.
Other than that, there's Stephan's parents' address, which previously was redacted, which is now, you can hear it. Maddie's name is still redacted throughout. But one thing I found really interesting is when Stephan keeps insisting Jennifer was there. You know, was there all the times that he FaceTimed Maddie.
Her mom does, but I'm up here and I'm helping out as much as I can, and her mom just started working, so her mom requested that I take her to school in the morning. Her and mom, or her and you. But mom's always present.
When you guys are FaceTiming. Okay.
Sometimes we're using her mom's phone to FaceTime with hers. It's usually with her mom right there too. We're just chatting.
He's trying to throw Jennifer under the bus, or maybe he's being truthful in a way. He's trying to say Jennifer was always there. So detectives are questioning him when they figure out, wait a minute, we looked on Maddie's phone. We see a lot of interaction between Maddie and you, Stephan. That's when they started asking him, what is your relationship to this missing girl? Basically, why are you guys talking and communicating so much? And even late, Detective Myra Tagler, God bless her, she is on him. She's with the sex crimes unit down there in OCSO, God bless her. She is on to Stephan like white on rice. She knows something is wrong. She's like, basically, why is he communicating with this 13-year-old girl who's not his daughter, who's not even his stepdaughter? And late at night, she mentions, and that's when Stephan, he starts mentioning Jennifer a lot. We didn't get to hear this before, and I'm popping it up on the screen the different times, new audio we haven't heard before. Stephan said, it's usually with her mom right there too. He speaks really quietly. I try and boost it as much as possible and enhance it. He's trying to say, look, every time we FaceTime, another time he says, but mom's always present. And another time he's like, sometimes we're using her mom's phone to FaceTime with her. So he's trying to say, it wasn't just me and Maddie alone. You know, he's trying to pretend it wasn't just him and Maddie alone, but Jennifer was there always co-signing with everything. So I'm wondering, is he trying to say Jennifer was okay with everything? Or is he trying to slightly throw her under the bus, or is he just pulling the wool over the cop's eyes, or trying to pull the wool over these great investigators' eyes, and he's trying to pretend like, oh yeah, mom was right there, everything's kosher, everything's fine. Now here's the part recently a local news station in Florida got wrong.
When you came back for the fob, did she go inside with you?
No, she was in the car still. She was asleep.
Where in the car?
Passenger side.
The front seat?
Correct.
Okay. Did she at any point go in the back of the vehicle, like in the back seat?
No.
So she was in the front the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Awake or asleep?
She was asleep.
Okay.
She was calmed down. We had gotten up with her.
How was she positioned in the front seat?
I knew it was wrong when I heard it because I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. This news station was reporting that Stephan literally took Maddie to the vape shop with him, and, she was there dead in the car in front of the vape shop. Well, I don't think that's true. I don't believe that Maddie was in the front seat with Stephan in front of the vape shop as is being reported. At least not for my interpretation of it. I mean, I still have to go through a lot of documents, but they played this audio. And you can hear they're talking all about Stephan's movements. They're trying to figure out, okay, you went to the vape shop, you forgot your fob or your clicker. They call it fob and clicker, your gate clicker at home. Tagler is jumping in there and asking, when you came back for the fob. So she's asking Stephan, when you came back home for your clicker, back to the condo, did she go inside with you? No, she was in the car still. She was asleep. That's what Stephan says. And they start going into how was she positioned. Now that's the portion I believe the news got confused, thinking since they had just been talking about the vape shop and vape juice and all this stuff, and then they switch and talk about the key fob and the clicker, or whatever you want to call it. Either way, it was a lie. Stephan was making up an excuse for not being in the right places he said he was. So I think the news got confused about what he was talking about. So that's why it helps. I'm going to play the whole couple of interviews I've lined up like that, and I've gone through and I've highlighted the differences, the new stuff we can hear now. You'll hear two separate audio interviews, and you won't hear Stephan saying that he took Maddie to the vape store with him. I believe that's an error made by a local news station, which, I'm not saying anything. We all make mistakes. That's why I like to go through all the audio, everything they give us with a fine-tooth comb, and not just try and pick out snippets or not just go with what the news is saying necessarily. I want to get the evidence for myself and go through it for myself, because it happens in another case with the Brian Kohberger case. Recently there was news, and the way it's written in the court documents can be so confusing, so much legalese, but there was news about 3 DNA profiles found under the victim's fingernails, Maddie Mogan. And the way it was written and the assumptions people make, some people were automatically like, oh, Brian Kohberger's DNA was found under Maddie's fingernails. And that's not what the documents actually say. Brian Kohberger was eliminated from that DNA sample the way I interpret the documents. But a lot of people don't want to take the time to go through, because it takes a long time to go through these audio files, do this experiment I did, go through the PDFs and try and figure it out for ourselves. Sometimes it's just about these shocking headlines. Anyway, we do have, in the Stearns case, we do have new info. It's the same old audio files, but redacted differently to give us more info. So if you listen closely, you'll hear Detective Myra Tagler jump in and ask Stephan about returning Maddie to the condo, which he claimed he did to allegedly get his clicker. And we know he didn't forget his clicker, but anyway, that's the conversation. And that's when Tagler brings up the key fob clicker thing to Stephan. That's when they start talking about Maddie being positioned in the car. So I believe this news person misconstrued the evidence. But I'll let you listen to both interviews. I want you to see what you get out of them, what you hear is new. I'm going to put the newly released audio files and even probably that newly released video of Stephan Stearns. It's the same video, it's just from a different entity. It's redacted differently, it's all blurred down there. The audio files are crazy names, so it's a lot trying to put these together. But I'm going to let you listen to all of these. I'll play the first one you want to hear first, probably, even though it takes place later in that day with Myra Tagler, where he's talking about being a stepdad, or I thought I was a dad to her. And then I'll play the interview right after that Detective Hunt conducted with Stephan on Tuesday, February 27th, right afternoon, 12:05 p.m. So he's not even really more alert. Stephan pretends like he's yawning and everything. So late at night, Myra Tagler's audio is better. Hers is clearer. I don't know if they're sitting in a car together or if they're standing outside that car where they're standing in the back right there at the trunk where he had Maddie. And I noticed too, they already must have known that he had moved Maddie from the passenger seat to the trunk. Because Tagler does ask Stephan somewhere in here, was Maddie in that passenger seat the whole time? So she knew, and he's like, yeah, the whole time. So I believe she already knew what he had done. So Myra Tagler's audio is better. Detective Hunt's sounds worse, the one that I'll play second, but I'll pop up on the screen all the differences where they occur. Every time they're mentioning like Jen's name or saying mom or whatever we can hear, will pop up on the screen. But we can see when listening to that earlier interview, which I'll play second, we'll see why cops became suspicious of Stephan. Now, Stephan yawns. This is a distractive device. When they're asking, okay, where did you drop Maddie off? And he's like, oh, he starts yawning, to avoid the question in a way. Oh, like I'm so sleepy, like it's noon, but I'm so sleepy. And he even mentions not being medicated at that point. Later, he'll contradict himself and say how much medications he's taken. He's all over the place. Anyway, in the interview with Detective Hunt, he even starts crying. You can hear him pretend to cry when a Hunt is asking him specifically about Sunday night. He's like, oh, she was excited for a party. He's going to talk about how hyped up she was after her party. She was talking about crushes. He slips back into past tense at this point. She was just happy. So we'll hear stuff about how common is it to drop her off. The detectives are asking, how common is it that you drop Maddie off? Now we hear Stephan this time say most of the time her mom does. Anything where he had mentioned Jennifer or mom, or even when the detectives erroneously called Jennifer his wife, then we can hear that stuff now. So Stephan is like, most of the time her mom does.
Requests is to be dropped. Is that from everyone or just because of your car?
She doesn't mind getting dropped off in her mom's car so much. It's the nicer white Sentra over there.
She doesn't mind getting dropped off in her mom's car, and he must be right there because he's like pointing to Jennifer's Nissan, white Nissan. Her mom requested that I take her to school in the morning.
Her mom requested that I take her to school in the morning.
So another part, Stearns is asked about, the person seen on the church parking lot footage. Turned out not to be Maddie, but at that point, Hunt was asking Stearns, do you think Maddie was flagging you down in the church parking lot? Do you think she turned around? And they start talking about the vape shop at that point. So I think that's the point that confused the news. So all this talk about Stephan admitting that he had Maddie in the car at the vape shop, I have not heard anywhere. See what you think, see what you hear. But he does say time to kill several times in that interview. So let's listen to all this, then we'll come back and close out.
In Central Florida, I'm sure you're aware.
Case number 24-11313. Today's date is February 28th, 2024. The time is 00:16 hours. Speaking with Stephan again. Okay. So, as you guys know, they have phone, right? Mm-hmm. They've been going through the phone, and they noticed that there was like a lot of messages between you and. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to me what your relationship is between you and?
Yeah, stepfather of sorts, I guess. She thought of me as a dad, thinks of me as a dad. Mostly things like, when are you going to call us? When are you going to come up here and visit? Hey, poopy head, get online. Things like that.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Your phone. I told you that I was going to hold on to it and that we would like to download your phone, right?
Okay.
Is this something that I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone?
It should be fine.
You okay with us going through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have the PIN to your phone?
42586.
Four 2586. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, so when you guys FaceTime, what do you guys talk about?
It's usually with her mom right there too. We're just chatting.
Okay. I noticed that at some some of the times that you guys are FaceTiming, it's like really late. Is it normal for her to be in bed late?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her bedtime's usually around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I talk to them both before bedtime when I'm not here.
Okay.
10:30 is supposed to be her bedtime, but she gets to push it sometimes.
Okay.
But mom's always present.
When you guys are FaceTiming? Okay.
Sometimes we're using her mom's phone to FaceTime with her. Sometimes FaceTiming them both together on one of the phones.
Okay. And then you said that yesterday you accidentally factory reset your phone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what time that was?
No, it was sometime in the morning. I had been pushing off doing an update for a while.
Was that before or after you went to the smoke shop?
Before? I'm not sure. I'm not a morning person. It's a newer phone. I was doing this update. It had some sort of weird option at the bottom that said something about reinstall everything, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing.
Okay, can you
Jen was
explain
right
to
there with
me? Where were you? Like, were you in your settings?
I was following whatever the links were for the OS update.
I don't have an Android, so I don't know where you...
I'm not super tech savvy.
Is it like
I'm
a
so
text?
sorry.
Was it...
It was a push notification that came in at the top that I had just been ignoring for
like
a long
up here.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was a boneheaded maneuver.
Okay, and then where did it direct you to?
I don't know. It took me to a page with all the stuff in the system, and I clicked something. I wasn't paying attention.
Do you remember what it said? Like, what kind of update was it?
It was like a big OS update, and it had all these options, and it was like reinstall something with all the apps and stuff. Reinstall everything, the apps and stuff. I don't know exactly what I said. I pushed it, and it started doing the update, and then it turned into some sort of reset or something. I'm not sure how I did that.
Okay.
I was half asleep,
And then, when you came back to get your key fob, what did you do when you got here?
ran inside, got the key fob, ran back out again.
Okay, where did you park?
Right up here, I think.
Okay. How long would you say you were inside your apartment for?
Literally long enough to run in, grab the fob, and come back out. So.
Okay, and then what did you do?
At the most.
What did you do when you came back out?
Got back in the car and went back on the morning mission.
Okay. The camera has you in the complex for 12 minutes. Does that seem about right?
Yeah, coming into the complex, driving around, parking, getting the fob, coming back out. Sounds about right.
Okay. And then you leave, what time would you say you dropped her off at the school? Or not at the school, but in the area?
My estimate was sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
Okay, the camera has you leaving the complex at 8:31.
8:31? Okay, so it must have been closer to 8:40 then.
Okay, and then after you dropped her off, did you go directly to the smoke shop?
I did. I went directly to the smoke shop. Waited. It was supposed to be open, but it wasn't. I waited a little while to see if they were just being slow about turning on the open sign. They weren't, so I went home at that point.
How long do you think you waited?
5-10 minutes maybe.
Okay, so if you drop her off at like 8:40, how far is the smoke shop from there to where you dropped her off?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many minutes. How far?
Did you go anywhere else after the smoke shop?
Sorry. I don't know. I don't think I went anywhere specific. I was just driving probably in the direction of home. but I don't remember stopping anywhere specifically.
And you were there for 5 to 10 minutes.
Roundabout, I think.
Okay, so like let's say you drop her off at 8:40. We don't see your car coming back south until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing between 8:40 and 10 o'clock?
Cruising around a little bit.
Okay, but I asked you earlier, you know, like what you were doing, and you said you were there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you came back home.
Yeah, well, I went to the smoke shop, like I said. But I may have been meandering around the area, but I made my way home.
Okay, but I'm asking you earlier, right? And even like the first time we talked to you, you're not telling us that you're like, you know, just cruising the area, like you're coming home. So I need to be able to explain to my supervisors why there's such a time gap.
I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just a normal day. We didn't have anything important to do. The smoke shop was supposed to open soon, so I made my way over there. It wasn't any particular rush, though.
Okay, but can you help me explain to them, because I don't know the explanation or the answer to this question, okay? So can you help me explain to them why there's such a delay in the time?
No, can't explain it. I wasn't going anywhere in particular. I wasn't doing anything in particular. Just making my way to the smoke shop. Waited for them to open. They did not open. And then I left.
Where did you go from there?
From the smoke shop, I went home.
Okay, the smoke shop is like 10 minutes from here, right?
15, 20-ish, something like that.
Earlier you told us it was 10 minutes.
Time is not a strong suit of mine. I'm guesstimating here.
I understand, but I have to be able to explain, you know, where you were for an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And right now I can't explain that.
Okay. Smoke shop was supposed to open close to 10. I waited. They did not open. And I came home.
Okay.
What time specifically was it supposed to open?
10 o'clock is when it's supposed to open.
So why'd you go at 8:40?
Like I said, I didn't go exactly at 8:40. I went to the smoke shop after I dropped her off.
But even if it was 9 o'clock, that still would have been an hour before they're supposed to open.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you think it would be open?
I didn't think it would be open. I was hoping I'd get there early enough and wait for it to open.
So you would have waited an hour for it to be open?
I did not wait an hour. I got there maybe 20 minutes before it opened, 15 minutes before it opened, and just sat and waited.
But then you're seen coming at 10 a.m. when it's supposed to open, already coming down.
Leaving, because it was supposed to open at 10 a.m. I waited a few minutes after 10. They were not opening, and that's when I left.
You did not wait a few minutes after 10.
What do you mean?
At 10 a.m. you were seen coming down southbound on Jongyong Parkway at the intersection of Jongyong
At 10
Parkway.
a.m. I was still in front of that shop waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open sign.
Okay, but if you dropped off at 8:40 and you said you only waited for a couple minutes at the smoke shop, why would you still be there at 10?
I waited to see if it would open, and they did not open.
We got that part. But you said you were there for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you were there a couple minutes after 10. So that's...
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I apologize for that. I'm trying to help you out the best that I can, but I just...
Right, so like, if you drop her off around 8:40, let's say, give or take 10 minutes, you make it to the shop around 9, the smoke shop, and you sit there and wait for a couple minutes for it to open. You said you waited for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Does it make sense that you're still there at 10 o'clock?
I was there at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so what did you do before that?
I dropped her off, and I made my way over. Not a direct route, but I made my way over there.
Did you stop anywhere on your way to the smoke shop?
I don't think so.
Do you have problems with your memory that you can't recall what you did?
I'm extremely ADHD. I'm sorry. So just details start to get fuzzy after a while. Even the times I'm giving you are my best guesstimates here. I didn't have my phone with me at the time, so I wasn't aware of exactly what time.
There's no time on your car?
Transpiring. There probably is, but it's not my car. It's my parents' car.
How certain are you that you were outside of the smoke shop at 10 a.m.?
90% sure.
What makes you think that you were there at 10?
I saw lights on inside the place. It looked like they were coming to life in there, so it looked like they were about to open. And I was waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open.
Do you remember if there was anybody inside?
I couldn't see inside from the outside. But after I came home and then went back to the smoke shop again later, when they definitely were open, I stopped in and got my vape juice finally. I don't remember the name of the guy working there, but he was like a skinny guy, short, skinny guy.
When you came back for the fob, did she go inside with you?
No, she was in the car still. She was asleep.
Where in the car?
Passenger side.
The front seat?
Correct.
Okay. Did she at any point go in the back of the vehicle, like in the back seat?
No.
So she was in the front the whole time? Awake or asleep?
She was asleep.
Okay.
She was conked out. We had gotten up with her.
How was she positioned in the front seat?
Leaned back in the seat, just kind of conked out, napping.
Where was her head in relation to the seat?
Against the seat, I think. Against it. Just.
Was the seat leaning back, or
The seat was leaning back. Yeah, she had leaned the seat back so that she could recline and.
Okay. And then I need you to try to, refresh your memory. When you got the flat tire on 192, what could you see around you?
It's 192. It all looks the same. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank as any specific businesses or names.
Did you pull off to the side of the road to a business?
I pulled off into a side plaza, like one of those little strips along the side. Dug around for my spare and my jack. Thankfully, we had both.
What direction were you coming in?
I was going towards John Young.
Okay.
So that direction.
And it was a plaza. You don't remember any businesses that were in the plaza?
I was focused on the
What
wheel
color
that
is the plaza?
Oh God, I have no idea what color the plaza was. I'm sorry, didn't even register a detail like that.
Okay, remind me again what you were doing on 192?
I was looking around at different game shops. One of my card games just had a release on Friday, Lorcana.
What card are you talking about?
It's like a trading card game, and they had a big release on Friday, so I wanted to go around.
What's the card though?
I'm sorry?
What is the game?
It's called Lorcana.
Lorcana?
Yeah, Lorcana. It's a trading card game made by Disney, kind of like Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering.
Okay, and you stopped at what shop?
I stopped over by Target. I was going to see if they had any. I then went up and was going to go to a place called House Rules Games. That is on 192 and Oak Street. I did not make it to House Rules Games because I got a flat tire before.
Okay, which Target did you go to?
The one down on 192.
192 and what?
Is there more than one down there?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the area.
It's the one down there by the Walmart, I think. I'm not sure what the cross streets are. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could be more help. I'm so sorry.
And how long will you change your tire for?
I'm not sure how long it took. I got back here by like 2:35, 2:40, because I was trying to get home to go with her to go pick up from school. And we needed to leave by 2:30. The flat tire made me late for that.
Okay. And there's absolutely nothing that you can remember about the plaza that you got the flat.
No, I don't remember color. I mean, it's all just kind of brownish, I think, along there.
And you said when you got your flat, you were heading towards JYP from 192.
Yes.
Okay, where's your flat tire at?
It's in the trunk.
Okay.
I've got the spare on there right now.
Yeah, I saw the spare. I don't think I have anything else. Your wife has my phone number. Mm-hmm. If you can remember where you got your flat tire, just have her send me a text message, okay?
Okay. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I know the details are important, and just the way our brains work with ADHD is those things can get fuzzy.
Are you on any medication?
I'm supposed to be. I have not been medicated lately, so
okay.
I'm not a morning person. I'm very time blind on the best of days and forgetful. So I understand that none of that is helpful in this case.
Okay.
I'm pretty sorry.
I explained to your wife that we're gonna have the apartment secured for the rest of the night. Okay?
Why? So the investigation is not going to happen tonight?
It is. So, I explained to her, me and him have been out all day, right? So we're going to go home, but just because me and him are going home doesn't mean that there isn't other people out here, okay? Mm-hmm. We have another unit out here, which is called Violent Crimes. They're out all night. So they're going to keep looking. We also have some of our detectives that were sent home earlier to get rest because they were going to come and relieve me and him, right? So we're going to take like shifts with the investigation because obviously if we're exhausted, we're of no use, right?
We're all exhausted too.
Right.
My brain is mush.
Right. And we don't want that to happen with anything that we're doing. So what we're doing is we're taking turns with whatever needs to be done. So we'll brief whoever's coming next and then, hey, this is what we did, this is what needs to be done, okay? The reason we are keeping your house for the night is because your house cannot be completed by one person, right? We don't do that. We have a unit that comes and takes pictures and does whatever they need to do with the house. After a certain time, it's only one person working in that unit. And she can't do it by herself. So people come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. So when the rest of her squad comes in, they're going to come in and, tackle your place as a unit so that they can get it done quicker. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then I explained to her too, because it was last in your car, we are going to also tow your car, okay? It's going to go to our sheriff's office, which is at 2500 West Colonial, okay? She said she needed to get her medication. You're not under any medication.
I have medication in the house, though, that I do need to get my blood pressure meds and anxiety meds as well.
Okay, so I'm going to try to figure out where all of this stuff is. Where's your stuff at?
Upstairs in the guest room currently.
In guest room number 4?
Yes. And it's on top of the mini refrigerator.
Does it have your name on it?
Yes, all of it.
Okay, where does she keep her... Where does she keep her medicine?
In her zipper case on her nightstand, I believe.
In the downstairs?
Correct.
What zipper?
It's like a little sort of brown zipper case. It's on her nightstand. So I'm right on top of the
Okay, so I can just bring the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any bottles on top of the nightstand around it too, but you might
just
want to
grab all
grab
of
those.
this.
Yeah, just.
Is there anything that you can recall that we haven't asked you? I know we asked you like a whole bunch of questions earlier, and we just asked you like a whole bunch more.
I don't know, my brain is so mush right now. I've barely slept. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'm trying to think of questions for you.
Can you see what shirt you're wearing?
What's that?
Can you see what shirt you're wearing?
Just a blue shirt.
Okay.
Remember what shirt you were wearing on Monday morning?
I believe it was this shirt. I'm still wearing the same shirt.
Have you showered since then or anything?
I showered the other night. No, not since yesterday. Sorry, your hair is even still greasy.
I know you got a cut, right, from...
Yeah, from changing the tire.
Do you mind if I see your arms?
Yeah, go for it. I haven't changed the tire.
Do you mind taking your sweater off?
It's cold, but yeah. I haven't changed the tire in like 10 years. I made a rookie mistake. Got my thumb too close to the jack in the frame and it slipped. I pinned my thumb in between the frame and the jack. I got lucky. I panicked and pulled out, which you're not supposed to do. But there was a lot of pain. I panicked.
And flip your hand over. Can you see the other arm?
One of my parents used for a tire iron.
Do you want to take a picture of the
yeah,
you got?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Let me see if the flash works. Okay, can you go like this again? And then flip it over for me. Let me do this. Flip it over, please. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah. She got her stuff, so let me go get your stuff and then you guys will be good to go. Okay, where are you guys gonna head? Do you know?
No idea.
Okay, can you have your wife text me an address of wherever you guys end up
Yeah,
tonight?
I think my dad's on his way down too. Cold out here.
Okay. Let me just verify with your wife her pills, and that's it. Okay? And then your phone, they're gonna work on it overnight, so you'll probably get it in the morning. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Tuesday, February 27th, 12:05 hours for OCSO case 24-011313. It's Detective Hunt. Can you state your full name?
Stephan Stearns.
We're in front of. All right, Stephan. Real quick, do you swear to affirm that everything you're about to tell me is the truth?
Yes.
Perfect. So you know kind of why I'm out here, right? Involving.
Yes.
When is the last time that you saw?
When I dropped her off yesterday morning.
Okay. About what time was it?
Approximately sometime between 8:25 and 8:40ish is when I dropped her off.
And where were you dropping her to?
I was taking her to school.
Got it. And it's my understanding that you dropped her off like a little bit away from school.
Yeah, she sometimes likes to get dropped off a bit down the road away. She likes to walk over and catch up with her friends, or just not being seen, getting out of a hoopty in front of school.
Okay. And when you say hoopty, you're referring to your
car that she's embarrassed to be seen getting out of.
Got it. Okay. Where did you drop her off at? Do you remember approximately?
It was...
You're good.
It was along the stretch of road, kind of where all those communities are, leading up to the overpass, and then the school was on the other side of the overpass. So I dropped her off along that stretch where all those communities are.
Gotcha. Is it like on the sidewalk or near parking lots?
There's a sidewalk there. And then they've got the church on the other side of the street, and then the overpass, and then the school. So it was maybe no more than a block away.
Okay. Is the school within like eyesight of where you drop her off, or is
The overpass was definitely within eyesight, and the school was literally just on the other side of the overpass.
Gotcha. So if you were to guesstimate it, would it be like a quarter mile, half mile?
Yeah, maybe like a 5-10 minute walk,
Gotcha.
depending on your speed.
Okay.
But she also likes the cool morning walks too. She was wearing her hoodie and she was feeling the cold weather, and she likes that.
How common is it of you to drop her off to school in the morning?
It's not common for me to do it most of the time. Her mom does, but I'm up here and I'm helping out as much as I can. And her mom just started working, so she was trying to get as much sleep as possible. And I was doing the school run this morning.
Okay. Do you live here? Do you live somewhere else, or what's that look like?
I live here, but I split my time between here and my parents' place down south in Northport. They're getting on in years and they need some help.
Got it. Okay. For how long have you lived here with them?
Oh gosh, years now, a couple years maybe now.
Okay. And what does your time splitting look like? Are you here for days, weeks, months, something else?
Weeks at a time, yeah.
And so, I guess, when did you arrive this block of time that you were here?
Day before yesterday, actually.
So,
Night before.
Saturday?
Yeah.
I think. So you got here Saturday night. Got it. And it's down in Northport that you actually split your time with. When did you start splitting your time between here and Northport?
A little while ago, my dad, I was working at Disney for a while, and my dad was coming up and getting lunch with me. Started discussing how, they're getting on in years and they're going to need some help soon, and they'd really need me to come back down and help them out. And,
was that this year or last year?
Last year, heading into this year, yeah.
Gotcha. So like December-ish.
Yeah, they're already making end-of-life plans, so.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, at least they're getting a plan together now.
So normally, if you do drop her to school in the morning, although it's typically not you, is that typically what she requests is to be dropped? Is that from everyone, or just because of your car?
She doesn't mind getting dropped off in her mom's car so much. It's the nicer white Sentra over there. But it is very common for her to get dropped off down the road and want to walk up and find her friends and kind of hang out.
Does she typically hang out with her friends only at school, or does she have any in the neighborhood here?
She doesn't have any in the neighborhood here, but she does have friends from school that she gets together with on weekends and whatnot.
Okay. So after you dropped her off sometime between 8:25, 8:40 area, do you remember?
I left my phone at home, so I wasn't sure what the...
Gotcha. That's fine. Do you remember what you did after? Or?
Yeah, after I left her, I was watching her in the rearview mirror. I was just driving away, and she looked like she was making her way towards the school like normal, so I went on with my day. I went over to the vape shop nearby. They were not open yet, so I came back home, hung out for a little while with Jen, and then after about an hour, I went to check the vape shop again, and they were open, so I took care of my stuff there, and it became a normal day.
Okay. So, just to go through I asked Jennifer the same questions, just to go through everyone's days, but just to go through yours. So you dropped her off at school, and you said you went to the vape shop?
Correct.
They weren't open?
Correct.
Do you remember about what time you got home?
Got home around maybe 10:15.
Gotcha. And was Jennifer here?
Yeah, Jen was here. She had been sleeping in. Her new work schedule has had her kind of messed up, so she was trying to sleep in as much as possible.
Gotcha. So when you got back around 10,
she was just
waking up.
Yeah. So we hung out for a little while, chit-chatted, and then I went and checked the vape shop again, got my stuff, came home again, hung out for a little while. We talked about maybe, doing some BJ shopping or something after we picked up. And then she wanted to take a nap again. I had a couple errands I needed to run, so that worked out fine.
Sorry.
I wanted to check out a couple of the card game shops in the area.
Oh, okay.
One of my trading card games just had a new release, so I just wanted to look at stuff. Ended up getting a flat tire.
Okay.
So that's one of my hoopties on a hoop.
Where'd you get a flower? Where'd you get a flat tire?
192. That was hair raising.
And that was when you were out shopping during the day?
Yeah. And that was between the hours of noon and like 2.
Okay. Got it. And then so after...
Because we needed to leave by 2:30 to go get in line and get ready to pick up.
Got it. So you guys both went and picked her up together?
That was the goal. Yes, I was going to go with them, but I ended up getting a flat tire. So
so you couldn't?
Yeah, I got back literally 10 minutes after she left, apparently.
Got it. And so forgive me, I missed something. I kind of missed it in the middle of there, but you got back home around 10. You hung out with Jen, and then y'all just kind of hung out, and then did you separate to go shopping, or?
She took a nap, and then I went and ran my errands.
Okay, got it. And then around noon or 2 o'clock, is when you got the flat tire, and she was leaving to pick up.
No, so when we hung out first, I had gone to the vape shop, which was now open, to get my vape, and then came back and hung out more. And then we separated, and I did my errands, and she took a nap.
Got it.
That was around noonish when that.
Got it. Okay, I just want to make sure I had that straight. So you went back to the vape shop. Which vape shop is it? Where's the vape shop around here?
E-cigarette online on John Young.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was one around here.
Is it e-cigarette, e-smoker, e-something online, but I've been going to them for a while. I think I would remember their name.
And you made it out there about what time, you said?
That was probably just after 11 that I finished up there.
Okay. Got it. Now, can you remember the day prior to Monday? Do you remember, I guess if anything happened between Saturday night and Monday when you were here that might have sparked
She was happy.
wanting to...
She was so happy.
Okay, because it was her party, right?
Yeah, and all three of us are together, and she was just so happy.
Tell me about Sunday night. Tell me about Sunday into Monday. What you remember?
She had just had her party.
Mm-hmm.
She was excited.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Just talking about crushes. Her singing that was coming up, and he wanted me to come see her sing.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing bad. She was just happy. She was very happy. Everyone was happy. There's nothing out of the ordinary. I can't remember anything particular that happened. I showed her the movie Sister Act.
Ah, okay.
She was singing so well, I told her she reminded me of the choir. When they got their stuff together and started singing better, I wanted to show her.
Gotcha. So Sunday night, how do you decide, who's going to get her ready for school in the morning and everything?
Her mom requested that I take her to school in the morning so she could sleep in as much as possible.
Okay.
I agreed. Done the school run a few times before. It's not usually my forte, but I don't mind helping.
And so Jennifer shared with me, typically you normally sleep in the upstairs guest bedroom.
Yeah.
And then she and will sleep together in her own bedroom.
Correct.
But Sunday, so Jen could get better sleep. She said she just sent you both upstairs, correct? Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Do you remember about what time you went to bed and woke up?
Bed, probably 11, quarter after. I was so wound up after her party. And we were getting up really, really early so we could make good time getting out of the door. So we got up around 7.
Yeah, y'all left pretty early.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Jen at all in the morning? Or was she still asleep?
Yeah, I saw her a couple times. I was in and out of her room talking to her.
Got it. Okay. And that was before you left around, what time did you leave? About 8:30?
No, earlier than that. We made such good time. I mean, we were so impressed. We made such good time getting out the door. I mean, we were probably out by 7:30, 7:45.
Okay.
Because we wanted to get McDonald's breakfast. We'd been talking about it anyway. She ended up not wanting it after all.
Got it. Has been in any trouble at all recently at home?
No, not recently.
No arguments that you can remember between her and Mom or her and you? Anything that's upset her?
Not for a while.
When was the last time?
Maybe a month. Typical, mood swing stuff. She has some pretty bad PMS when she gets it, and being a teenager on top of it doesn't help.
Okay. I know all about it. Now you said she left her phone, right?
Yeah.
Where did she leave her phone at?
She left it in her room. She's ADHD. So am I, for that matter.
Oh, yeah,
so
you left your
Mom.
phone too, huh?
Yeah. So we try to be on top of her about that, not forgetting things, but we're also a bit forgetful too.
Got it.
But yeah, it's not uncommon for her to forget everything. That
Did she leave it in her room or
she
in the
She left
bedroom?
it in her room. She must have been grabbing her shoes or a hoodie or something and set it down, and that's just how it goes.
Okay. Got it. Gotcha. Is it typical of her, I guess, to forget things like that?
Yeah, very, very typical.
Cool. Got it. All right, man. Well, I mean, you know her better than I do. Is there anything you can think of that, as someone who doesn't know her, that I might be missing out on here? Like somewhere she may like to be, or somewhere she...
Everything everywhere that we think she could possibly be, we've checked. And I mean, literally, the whole family is just...
So that the deputies found the video from the church last night of her in the parking lot.
We heard that they saw someone.
So, can you think of a reason that she might have gone and waited in that church that's across the street for a couple minutes before she would have headed back off to school?
No. I mean, she had time to kill, so I don't know. She said she was going to hang out and find her friends, but when I left her, she was on the other side of the street, rummaging through her backpack and just kind of moving towards the school area, so it looked normal.
What do you think she was looking for?
I assume she was just looking for some headphones or something for her walk, but she might have been looking for her actual phone.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can really think of at the moment. I think I have a phone number for you. I tried calling you earlier, but you might have just been asleep.
Yeah. So sorry.
No, it's okay. 256-1832.
That's correct.
Gotcha. What's your address when you stay down south?
When I'm down south, it's 2 Snug Street, Northport, 2 words. It's Florida. It's 34286. That's my parents' house, though. I did not like being there if I can help it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice of you to help him out.
Yeah, it's just a stressful environment full of poodles and deaf old people.
So after you dropped off the first time at around 8:20 or so, you didn't, to get to the vape shop, do you have to, like, swing back around at all to where the school area is? Is there any chance she saw your car or something and was flagging you down, or?
No, I basically just turned around right there.
Okay, so there's no chance she would have, like, seen you from that church parking lot when you were swinging back around to the vape shop?
I would have already been gone at that point.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to figure out, what might have caused her to go there and then what caused her to leave. Because I think she did stay there till about 8:50, just before school starts. When does school start? 9:30?
9:15, I think, is the latest that they should be there by. I think it starts around 9:20 officially.
Gotcha. Is she familiar with that parking lot at all? Is that somewhere she hangs out?
I mean, a lot of the kids will sort of rendezvous there before heading into school.
Gotcha. Do you recall seeing any other kids walking in the area when you were dropping her off?
We were earlier than usual. She was confident that it was fine. She was just going to hang out and wait for her friends.
Okay. Did she mention that to you at all? Or did she say anything?
I asked her, because we were a little early. We still had some time to go. I said, "You want me to wait with you?" She said, "No, just drop me right here. I'm going to walk up and find my friends."
Okay.
Which is something that she normally does anyway. It wasn't out of the ordinary, and I agreed to it. She looked like she was making her way towards the school, and I went on with my day.
All right. Well, I appreciate you talking to me. I'm going to go ahead and end this. 12-23 hours.
Okay, so that's it. Did you hear any more differences than I could find comparing the visual data, the sound waves? I love looking at sound waves. I can tell when my voice messes up or when something messes up, and that's why most people go, or tch. So you can tell that sound wave will be a real harsh line. But if I find anything, new, I've also tried to compare other audio that they've given us too, and it got all weird. It's really weird. I'll try it again. But the old audio compared to the new, they were matching up for a while, and then one of them ramped up, and it was strange. I'm going to try that again. Maybe I'll use Final Cut Pro instead of iMovie for that one. It might work better. Anyway, if I find any more differences like I found so far, bless God for encouraging me to do this experiment and not just assume like some people have, oh, the state's attorney just gave us the same old stuff. No, sometimes there's shades of differences. It just takes a really long time to figure out what the differences are. If I find any more, I'll put them in a new video. So thanks for watching. Let's close with Revelation 21, 6-7. And he said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the one who thirsts, I will give water from the fountain of the water of life without cost. He who overcomes the world by adhering faithfully to Christ Jesus as Lord and Savior will inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son." So thanks so much for watching all this. We have all this evidence. There's more, a supplemental discovery that came out, and we're trying to figure out, what do we have? What don't we have? It's a time-consuming process. So check the links to Patreon below to see what I can get up by the time I've edited this video, and we'll go from there. Take care.